Hello everyone, Mark with Grimtastic Baits. As you can see this morning, and it is morning for me, it's 45 degrees in the garage. 45 degrees in May. Whatever, I hate the heat, so I'll take it. What we got here, if you are a Megabass snob, brat, whore like me, you know what this is. And if you don't know what this is, you need to find out really quickly. This is the Megabass Karashi. This is by far one of my favorite baits of all time. In fact, most times I go out fishing, I start with this bait just to see if the fish are biting. If I don't get a fish right away on this, I know I just might as well pack it up and call it a day. Very small. It's got a freaking kick butt walk the dog underwater action because it's slow sinking, so you can pause it and it'll just sit there and slowly drop. Now, I'm not doing a lure review or anything like that, but I noticed, because I'm a stalker, on the Megabass Japan website, they're coming out with, I'm gonna try and post a picture right here, a Karashi Spinner. So now Cultiva, I think it was, I have one around here somewhere, I don't feel like digging it out. Cultiva had something like this where it had just a spinner on the back, almost a spy bait, but there's no spinner in the front. And it wasn't very heavy, it actually floated. So I don't know, I should do some more research. I'm not sure if the Karashi Spinner is going to float or not. But what I want to do is I want to make a version of it before I can buy it. Because I tried to buy it. You can't buy it here in the States yet. It's only in Japan. So what I did was I grabbed, here, let me zoom out. Grabbed a little bit of this, a little amazing mold maker by Alumilite. Doesn't do too bad a job. And I casted really quick like a mold of the Karashi. Using that exact Karashi, actually, as a matter of fact. So took the hooks off, did that. I'm not going to spare you I'm going to spare you actually the whole process. You guys have seen a million other bait makers make molds, so it's not a big deal. So what I did then is I used the amazing casting resin. By the way, I'm not supported or I'm not affiliated with Alumilite or anything like that. That's just what I got at Michael's, because sometimes if you watch, you can get stuff 25% off at Michael's, coupons and stuff, and you save a ton of money doing that. So I took this and I used about, I think it was 5 milliliters. I believe it was 5 milliliters to fill that up. And to go with that, I used 1 full teaspoon of this nasty, horrible, hate this stuff, really bad for your health, don't breathe it in, flotation beads. It's supposed to be used in soft plastics, I think, but it will dissolve very nicely into the resin, the casting resin. So in the end, what I ended up with was a less than perfect replica of the Karashi. So my thoughts are, I'm going to use, I'm thinking a size 12 hook. I think that's pretty close to what it is. I was thinking of using beads, but then I thought about it. I was like, props are metal, and metal against plastic doesn't have the same coefficient of friction. So I was like, no. So then I decided, all right, let's get the little caps, the little half cap rivets. That's what we're going to use on the tail end of it. The prop itself is going to be these guys here. I picked all this up at Barlow's, by the way. It wasn't too expensive. It wasn't bad at all. So there's my props. And I was thinking also, I'm going to make the center peg, this little eye here. This is the smallest one they sell. And then the next size up, I'm thinking that, let me find it. I think I'd have all this ready. Next size up screw. I'm going to use this for the tie-on, and since it's longer, I think I'll have enough space to do the prop and to get that centered in there with the cap. So I'm going to do that. And then split rings, just a standard small split ring, nothing special. And I'm debating on whether I want to drill that eye out and put in these little tiny 3D eyes, or if I'm just going to paint the eye and just paint it black or something. I'm still trying to figure out where this shadow is coming from. It drives me nuts. Did I figure it out? Nope, still got a shadow. Anyway, I digress. Not sure I'm going to use that or not. So this is going to be the process of making the Karashi Spinner. There's one thing I noticed, and I'm going to try and put the picture down here again for comparison. This curvature is not in the Karashi Spinner. It still uses that cup on the front end, but we have more mass back here. So I'm not sure how much of a difference that's going to make. What I hope in the end is that I have a floating bait, and I want it to sit like this in the water. I want it to be an angle where its butt is hanging in. And the reason I want that is then, of course, more weight. When I start reeling it, it'll bring it up and make the prop work better. Also, a little something more enticing if you got something sitting in the bottom of the water like that, under the water line. For the fish, I'm hoping, I don't know, this is all just, I'm theorizing, so I'm not going to add any weight to this. I am going to leave it weightless and rely on the hooks and the prop to be the weight. I don't know. I'm experimenting this as I go. So what we're going to do next is let's drill some pilot holes. All right, this is a 3/64 inch drill bit, teeny tiny. Where do you get these? Usually a Dremel drill kit, such as this. Imagine this. I already broke the 1/32, so I had to move up to the 3/64. It was on another project. I don't remember. Hard to say with me. I break stuff pretty easy. So let's start off with, here's where we're going to run into trouble. That thing is mounted really unusual. And as you can see here, I don't have that little gap there. So I'm going to aim right for that point and hope I don't crack or break the resin, I guess. We'll see here. I'm going to try and do this while I'm looking at it through a screen. Whew, not so easy. In fact, I might... let's do it. Oh, shoot. Okay, so it already started sliding. Not good. Maybe if I, you know what, I'm going to stick it right there, sorry, and go at an angle. Did you see what I just did? Son of a biatch. Went right through that top. Well, you know what, we're going to keep going with it. All right, so I'm looking at here, so without hooking myself any further. And yes, I did sand this and do a lot of prep work, so I just didn't want to bore you all with it. This looks about right. I just want to make a pilot hole on that one because that's going to be my small, my really small eye. And this one is going to be fun. Ugh. Right in the poop chute. Guess we'll assemble that and see how it looks. Okay, so let's do... By the way, I already saved you the trouble of watching me fight with putting the swivel or the split rings on and such. So let's see how bad this is going to turn out. is, as you can hear, squeaky tight. However, I do notice, I don't know how much this is going to affect the bait. It's looking like it's going in crooked. How far can I hide that? You know what? Well, you know what? This is a prototype. We're going with it. Yeah, we're gonna go with that. All right. Next up, let's do the middle one next. If I can find the pilot hole, which looks like it's right there. Well, do we count that as a fail? I don't think so. Working with this little stuff is just, I hate it. I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. But for the sake of what I want to do, it feels like it's grabbing. It is. In hindsight, well, you know what? I'm glad I haven't super glued or anything yet, because I do want to put a coat of paint on it. So I'll probably check fit and finish and all their fit and placement on all this. And then if it looks like it's going to work, then I will go ahead and paint it. Or we could just use it plain white. I guess we could do that too, but that's not very exciting. All right, so taking a prop. It looks like it goes that way. Then we'll take the cap, put it on like so. And let's see if we can find the butthole on this. Yeah, I can see why Megabass added more beef to the back end of it. That's going to be the biggest discerning factor. So let's see how tight we want to go with this. Too tight, the prop won't spin, such as that. Ooh. There's something else I didn't consider, but yet it looks like we're okay. Whether or not that hook's going to get in the way of the prop. But if it's moving and hanging in the water, I think we'll be all right. You know what? I want to loosen it just a little more. There we go. That's pretty good. I don't know. What do y'all think? I guess I need to get a cup of water out here and see how it floats now. Okay, moment of truth. Here we go. We're looking for not only a float, but a float with the butt end sticking in the water like that. So, if all else fails, I can add a little weight. If it doesn't float, back to the drawing board on the rosin, I guess. So, oh crap, that's a little too nose up. Holy buckets. Well, good God. Okay, it's buoyant as heck though, but it's barely buoyant. God, if I do any changes. Well, maybe I'll just run with that. That is kind of different. Damn it. Could do a smaller hook in the back, but I really don't want to do that because I'm afraid it'll get hung up on that prop. Boy, he's just feeding right on the surface there, isn't he, though? Yum, 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 yum. Eating those little bugs that land on the surface. Well, I don't know. What do y'all think? It is really kind of unique. Why is it floating like that? However, it is a nice vertical, straight up and down float. It's not off balance or anything. Equal amounts on the left and right are in the water. Let's go with it. So, oops, I need to apologize in advance. I didn't start the video, the camera, when I sprayed a little pearl white with some reducer. So, sorry about that. We don't want to talk about that. Okay, so now that I'm recording, I'm going to move on to detail sepia, yeah, whatever you want to call it. I'm just going to do that along the back and a little bit of the sides. Like so. Although I would like it. That'll darker down the edges. That'll work. Transparent black. So this is going to be the most tedious part. In fact, you know what we're going to do? You see that right there? We are going to take that off. What that allows me to do is get a lot more pinpoint precision, because I'm going to try and stencil a lateral line on here with that. And I'm not sure exactly how it's going to turn out. So we are going to give it a run. Oh, that's a lot of power. I need to back this off. Sorry, that was really rude of my air compressor. You know, something else I forgot. I should have wiped this whole thing down with alcohol first, and I didn't, so my greasy fingers are all over it. So let's start. Not exactly what I was looking for, but whatever, let's roll with it. All right, you know. See how my precision is on this. While we're here, is that starting to look like a bass? I hope so. That's what I'm going for. All right, not too bad, not too bad. I'm gonna flip it around and do the other side. I'll probably not do that on cameras because it's gonna be the same thing. Next up, Wicked Red with a lot of reducer. More reducer than paint, I might add, because I don't know if it's just my bottle or what, but this crap is so disgustingly thick. Air guns hate it. At least my air gun hates that stuff. So I'm going to be very delicate and just do the cup here. my next trick. Sorry about that air compressor again. My gosh. Get a little bit of the shifters, brown, bright gold brown. So I planned on painting my finger on this one because remember how I took all the hardware off, so I don't have anything to clip it around. So we're just going to try and make do with holding it like that. And I really hope I didn't just overdo that as I spray more on. This stuff a little bit goes a long way. So I just thought about this. How am I going to heat set that while I'm holding it? I'll figure it out. All right, now that I burnt that glove into my hand, let's see how it turned out. Don't drop it, don't drop it, don't drop it. Ooh. What do you think? Think that'll get bit? That's a color Megabass doesn't have, right? Alrighty. I'm gonna get the hardware back on that and see what it looks like. Ugh, bad mark, bad. I can't put the hardware on until I clear coat it. Jeez, oh Pete, what am I thinking some days? Can't have that beautiful finish getting knocked off there right away. Okay, so here is the original Karashi. Beautiful in its own right. And not wanting to lay out flat. There. And hot off the press. In fact, still a little bit tacky and I'm rushing it, but what do you think? Good enough to go with the lineup? I think it turned out pretty darn good. There we go. I do kind of wished I would have put in the 3D eyes, but maybe that'll be for next time. So with that being said, you know, there's only one thing left to do, and that's to, I'm gonna have to go fish this thing. Well, here we are at the local spot. Not bad. Very subtle. The old chest / belly harness has seen better days, but just in case. Not really expecting to get anything this morning. It's kind of late in the morning. Sunny day, never good. Good day to see what your bait's doing though. I think it actually works better as a twitch still. You can almost get it to walk the dog. Let's just try a slow retrieve. He's Some pauses. I think we're going to call it on this one. Pretty little bait. I'll use it again. But nothing today. As always, don't like, don't subscribe. I'm not your dad. I can't tell you what to do. But thanks for watching and have a great weekend.